WNEW, The Stones, Start Me Up on the Firecracker 500, hitting the double digits there at number 95. Beatles 2 for I Am the Walrus yesterday. Clapton, Wonderful Tonight at number 98. Eagles before that, Take It Easy, and Grateful Dead kicking off that set. Sugar Magnolia at number 100. Weather outlook for the weekend, a lot better than yesterday. Mostly sunny, high 80 to 85. Tomorrow, sunny, high 85 to 90. And the outlook for Sunday, partly cloudy with a chance of an afternoon thunderstorm, high 80 to 85. More of the Firecracker 500 in just a couple moments. 1027 WNEW, I'm Mark Francis. I thank you very much for listening. Richard Neer is up next for the vacationing. Pat St. John, the Firecracker 500 countdown continues all weekend long as voted by you. So keep your dial right here. Have a great weekend. We go out now with number 94, The Weight, the band, 1027 WNEW-FM.
Well, I know I'm just subbing for Pat and Jim, but am I that unknown? Who are you? The Who. And that is number 91 in our countdown of the top 500 songs of all time. The Beatles with Helter Skelter from the White Album collection. Heard The Weight from the band and Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band and the classic Night Moves. Getting into the short strokes here, as old Beretta would say. Good morning, I'm Richard Neer at 1027 WNEW-FM. We are featuring the top 500 songs of all time as selected by you, and we have some great ones coming up. We are into the top 90. Now, you might try to figure out how many, hours it's going to be until you get to the top 10. My suggestion is forget about it, because I tried to do that myself. And there are a lot of long songs in here. You know, as we get down to some of the bigger ones, there's some real long ones, including one coming up next, which is about 18 minutes or so. So we'll tell you about that in just a moment. First, let me welcome you to the day. It's 6:06. The temperature outside is 65. We're headed for a high of 85. Unlike yesterday's rain, which kind of dampened things a little bit at Liberty State Park, today is going to be a beautiful day, low humidity, 85. Same way tomorrow. There is a chance of late afternoon or evening thunderstorms on Sunday, but other than that, nothing to dampen the weekend. The weather looks real good. And the city's crackdown on fireworks apparently worked. Arrests were up something like 3 times the normal amount. And injuries were down to maybe 1/4 the normal amount reported. So the crackdown did seem to have some effect. There was a fairly serious boating accident. Boating accident? That's no boating accident. Yes, it was a boating accident on the East River watching the fireworks. Something like 18 people were, it seems to be mildly injured as a big pleasure cruiser collided with 4 or 5 other boats. And, the general rash of little fireworks-related injuries. But basically, it was a pretty good day and pretty good night in New York City. The Mets and Yankees both won. Mets beat the Montreal Expos 4-0. Yankees 4-1 over the Milwaukee Brewers during the daytime. As we predicted, Darryl Strawberry was signed by the Yankees yesterday. Went to their Columbus Clippers farm team in AAA and hit 2 home runs in his first 2 at-bats. I think he's ready. And the Mets 4-0 behind Robert Person over the Montreal Expos, a team they would be dueling if they could ever get themselves into the wild card race, a team they'd have to beat. And Pete Sampras was knocked out of Wimbledon, so he will no longer be able to defend his title at the British Lawn Tennis Tournament. Yeah. 6:08. We'll be right back with that long song I told you about.
Hi, this is Pat St. John, your morning jockey.
Hello.
On 1027 WNEW-FM. Inviting you to join me at Meadowlands Pace Night and the Nerds Box Concert in the Paddock Park at the Meadowlands Racetrack on Saturday, July 13th. Listen all next week to win your Meadowlands Pace prize pack and join me for a night at the races from 1027 WNEW-FM, where rock lives.
Hi, I'm Andres Cantor, internationally famous soccer announcer. I am here to warn you that on July 14th, foreigners of unparalleled power will be attacking New York. Well, really, giant stadium, but whatever. Do you understand the sheer magnitude of this event? Do you remember the World Cup? All those tourists waving tiny flags. Don't worry, they're not coming. But who are coming? The World Cup champions, Brazil. And they're here to play against a true world all-star team. Players like Jorge Campos, Sola, and Vialli, Lothar Matthäus. On this same day is Major League Soccer's East versus West all-star game with Meola and Valderrama. And I, Andres Cantor, will be there. Can you not feel the very earth tremble with the word goal? I am overcome with emotion that I cannot speak of.
Watch the ultimate doubleheader, Major League Soccer's All-Star Game and Brazil versus the world, July 14th at Giant Stadium. Stop by the Continental Airlines Arena box office or any Ticketmaster outlet to purchase tickets. Soccer's the game.
So, this is the new hotspot in town, huh?
Boy, that's an understatement.
Uh-oh. Jack, you wanted a table next to the big brick oven.
Yeah, but, this is supposed to be a new hip place. I thought you'd like to sit up front in the center.
It's roasting chickens, Jack, not Hello Dolly.
Yeah, now you tell me.
Yeah. So do you want to move?
No, I'm working on my tan.
Oh, no.
And my wine.
Well, aren't you glad they feature Behringer White Zinfandel by the glass?
I sure am.
Well, it's a good sign.
Yeah, if they're this particular about White Zinfandel, maybe they're the same about the food, huh?
Yeah. This Behringer's so crisp and fruity, isn't it?
Yeah, and perfectly chilled.
Delicious.
I told you we had a longish song coming up. Well, I think you might say that. Close to the Edge from Yes, clocked in at number 90 on our survey of the top 500 songs of all time. 65, headed for a high of 85 sunny degrees today at 6:13. Good morning. I don't know about you, but I can't tell you how long it's been since I've heard that one. At 102.7 NEW 632, Yes. And Close to the Edge, number 90 on our countdown of the top 500 songs of all time. I'm Richard Neer, and for Pat St. John and Jim Monahan this morning at 65 degrees. We're headed for a high in the mid-80s today. Looks like the rest of the weekend is going to be equally gorgeous and sunny. Possibility of late afternoon thunderstorms on Sunday, but other than that, very, very, very nice. Fireworks crackdown seems to have worked last night. They confiscated 3 times the amount of fireworks normally that they do, and the arrests were up and the injuries were down about 25% of what it normally is. There was an accident in the East River, a boating accident after the fireworks were over. Several people were injured, apparently none too seriously. And Darryl Strawberry in his first time up with the Columbus Clippers. Yankees AAA Farm Club hits a home run. Second time up, hits a home run too. Yankees in the big club beat Milwaukee 4-1. Mets 4-0 over the Montreal Expos. And Pete Sampras is out of Wimbledon. We continue our countdown in just a little bit with, I promise, a little bit shorter song. Richard Neer in for Pat St. John and Jim Monahan at 102.7 NEW, counting down the top songs of all time as selected by you. Number 89, Lou Reed at NEW. WNEW-FM. I don't think there's a more impassioned performance out there than that one on Love, Rain, or Me. Roger Daltrey at the top of his powers. And, of course, looking forward to seeing him and Pete Townsend and John Entwistle in town in a couple of weeks' time as they come to the Garden performing Quadrophenia, including Love, Rain, or Me, and Walk on the Wild Side from Lou Reed. 89 and 88 on our survey of the top 500 songs of all time, the Firecracker 500. We're counting them down today and through the rest of the weekend. At 102.7 NEW, Richard Neer with you in for Pat St. John. Right now at 6:51, 65 degrees. We're headed for a high of 85. Should be a very nice day. Low humidity. Same tomorrow. Chance of late afternoon thunder showers maybe on Sunday. That's the only marring factor for this whole weekend, which looks pretty good. Yanks won 4-1 last night. Actually, yesterday afternoon, and the Mets 4-0 winners over the Montreal Expos. Pete Sampras is out of Wimbledon, and Darryl Strawberry, a Yankee now, 2 home runs in his first 2 at-bats with the Columbus Clippers at AAA.
Saturday, July 6th at 9 p.m. Continue the Independence Day celebration with a concert for the colonies.
No, you Yanks got it all wrong. Earth's rotation being as it is, your daylight savings time, horrible custom VAT, and satellite thermostat delay. The concert for the colonies will air on Monday night at 9.
Recorded live from 25 years of the Glastonbury Festival. 3 hours of concert performances from Age of Play, Black Crow, Pretenders, Midnight Oil, Matthews Band, The Spin Doctors. With your host, your buddy, your pal, Ian O'Malley. A concert for the colonies. Kind of a birthday gift from the mother country.
What's for tea, ma'am?
Only on 102.7 WNEW-FM.
Remember, that's Monday.
Where rock lives.
64 degrees, headed for a high of 85 today. It is 6:56 at 102.7 NEW, counting down the top 500 songs of all time. We're at number 87 now with Van Halen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
It's the Firecracker 500.
And to the republic for which it stands. To the flag of the United States of America. Under God.
On 1027 WNEW New York.
.027 WNEW-FM in New York. The Stone Temple Pilots and Plush. Van Halen's Jump at number 87 on our survey of the top 500 songs of all time. Whelan from Stone Temple Pilots out of rehab. Not exactly scheduled to be out of rehab either. Apparently just bolted the place, decided he'd had enough. So his troubles continue. In the news today, we have basically 4th of July fireworks stuff. Mayor Giuliani, of course, yesterday announced he was cracking down on things, and apparently it's worked. They've confiscated 3 times the normal amount of illegal fireworks that they normally do, and injuries due to fireworks are down something like 4 times. So it seems to have worked, although a lot of people in Queens with the Gotti family fireworks are not real happy about that celebration being squelched. There was a boating accident in the East River after the fireworks display that Macy's put on. Several injuries, none too serious apparently, as up to 5 or 6 boats collided. Mets won last night 4-0 against the Montreal Expos behind Robert Persson. Yankees 4-1 victors in the afternoon over the Milwaukee Brewers. Andy Pettitte, first 13-game winner in the American League. 2 home runs for Darryl Strawberry in his debut at Columbus, a AAA Yankee Farm affiliate. And Pete Sampras out in 3 sets, ousted yesterday by Richard Krajicek. We'll tell you all about the weather in just a moment.
Hey, 1027 WNEW-FM has your chance to meet Sting and win a pair of tickets to his sold-out show at Garden State Arts Center. Listen to The Place Where Rock Lives all this Monday for your chance to win them. 1027 NEW.
1027 NEW. Right now it's 7:12. Richard Neer for Pat St. John and Jim Monahan on this 5th of July, Friday after the holiday. Looks like we're going to have great weather for the next few days. 64 right now, headed for 85 today, in the mid-80s tomorrow and Sunday as well. Mostly sunny skies. Chance of a late afternoon shower, perhaps, on Sunday. The only thing dampening the whole weekend. Looks real good. And, if we didn't have rock and roll, if we just had, guys going boom, 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 and Agata DeVita, we could always turn to classical music, couldn't we? 1027 WNEW-FM at 722. That was Yellow Ledbetter. And that, of course, is Pearl Jam and Whiter Shade of Pale from Procol Harum, number 85 and 84, as we count down the top 500 songs of all time this weekend at WNEW-FM's Firecracker 500 at 722. 64 degrees. We're headed for a high of about 85. Should be a real good day. And here is number 83.
A long time ago,
it's the Firecracker 500 on NEW.
1027 WNEW-FM, our introduction to Dire Straits way back in 1978, and Sultans of Swing. That was number 81. 82, Carnival 9's First Impression, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. They're going to be at the Garden State Arts Center on the 22nd of August with Jethro Tull. And, of course, Don McLean's American Pie, number 83 there. Don McLean, bye-bye, Miss American Pie. Right now, it is 7:43. Richard Neer and for Pat St. John and Jim Monahan on this Friday morning, the day after the holiday. Apparently, the city's crackdown on fireworks was successful. They had 3 times the amount of confiscated fireworks than normal, and injuries seem to be down as much as 4 times the normal amount. There was a boating accident after the fireworks show in the East River. Several injuries, none reported too serious. And they finally caught that coffee bar suspect. Did you catch the things on TV, the videos of the guy with the knife And the baseball cap who robbed something like 16 coffee bars with a knife, well, they caught him last night. The Mets, well, they caught the Montreal Expos last night, and they whooped them 4-0. Robert Person with a terrific pitching performance. Yankees played in the afternoon, and Andy Pettitte pitched them to a 4-1 victory over the Brewers. Darryl Strawberry, as we said earlier, was signed with the Yankees, went to Columbus, the Clippers, their farm club, and hit home runs in his first 2 at-bats. And Pete Sampras was ousted from Wimbledon in straight sets by Richard Krajicek. We'll tell you all about the weather, which is pretty darn good in just a moment. 7:49 at 102.7 WNEW-FM. Richard Neer in for Pat St. John and Jim Monahan. Temperature now 65 degrees. We are headed for a high today of about 85. Going to be in the 80s again tomorrow. Low humidity. And looks like Sunday, late in the day, we might get a thunderstorm. But basically, pretty good weekend for the 4th of July. We continue our countdown of the top 500 songs of all time. The Firecracker 500. And we're down to number 80.
It's WNEW's Firecracker 500. It's the Firecracker 500.
What was the controversy about the national anthem?
I don't know. All I did was play it. I'm American, so I played it.
It isn't unorthodox?
No. I thought it was beautiful.
On 102.7 WNEW New York.
I just don't know.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful classic from the Allman Brothers Band at 102.7 WNEW-FM in New York. One Way Out from Eat a Peach. And we also heard Sunshine of Your Love from Cream and Crosby, Stills, and Nash and Sweet Judy Blue Eyes. And, of course, Allman Brothers coming in at number 78, 79 with Sunshine, and number 80, Sweet Judy Blue Eyes. If you're keeping score at home, and why not? Firecracker 500, the top 500 songs of all time. It's 8:06. Richard Neer in for Pat St. John and Jim Monahan. Darryl Strawberry signed with the Yanks yesterday, played with the Columbus Clippers, and hit 2 home runs in his first 2 times at bat. The Yankees, the big club, won, beat the Brewers 4-0 behind Andy Pettitte. Mets behind Robert Person beat the Montreal Expos 4-0, and Pete Sampras is out at Wimbledon, out in 3 sets to Richard Krajicek.
PC Richard & Son announces a giant triple grand opening.
Manhattan Union Square on 14th Street.
Astoria, Queens on Steinway Street.
And Springfield, New Jersey on Route 22 East.
All 35 superstores celebrate with 0% interest for 12 months on all Sony audio and video products.
Every big screen TV from Hitachi, RCA, and ProScan.
0% interest for 12 months on all Panasonic TVs, VCRs, and camcorders.
All Techniques Audio.
And all GE home appliances.
No payments, no interest, no money down for 1 full year with a PC Richard credit card.
PC Richard's giant triple grand opening.
Manhattan Union Square on 14th Street.
Astoria, Queens on Steinway Street.
And Springfield, New Jersey on Route 22 East.
Be there! Win a chance to be in the Broadway hit musical Grease, starring Chubby Checker.
You can win 4 free tickets and be a star for a night.
Enter to win at any of PC Richard & Son's 35 superstores.
Serving Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island, Westchester, and New Jersey.
PC Richard & Son, the appliance, electronics, and computer giant.
Warning, Baskin-Robbins recommends moving slightly away from your radio during the next commercial.
Your sense of taste is about to be overwhelmed by something so...
FM in New York City at 8:25. Sweet Melissa from Eat a Peach, Allman Brothers again at number 75. There, 76. Beatles, Sgt. Pepper, and with a little help from me friends, and Strawberry Fields at number 77. As we count down the top 500 songs of all time on the Firecracker 500 at NEW. 65 degrees, headed for a high of 85. Should be a real nice day. And let's get right now to number 74. The Stones. Can't always get what you want. The Rolling Stones live from Flashpoint as we count down the 500 greatest songs of all times as selected by you. That was number 69, perhaps appropriately enough. Steely Dan did Asia at 70, and Black Gold from Soul Asylum was 71. Richard Neer in from Pat St. John at WNEW-FM in New York City. Most of the news yesterday concerned fireworks, lack thereof. They confiscated 3 times the normal amount of fireworks that they normally get on the 4th of July. The injuries due to fireworks, reported anyway, was down only 25% of the normal amount, which is good news. There were some injuries suffered last night coming back from the legit fireworks, the Macy's parade, because of a boating accident in the East River. They have captured that coffee bar suspect. For those,
your local Toyota dealer has low leases that'll help you save so much money you too can afford a little attitude. Toyota, I love what you do for me.
Counting down the top 500 songs of all time, and I would venture to say this might be the most recently released. As a matter of fact, it's still number 16 on the singles charts. We're talking Alanis Morissette with number 68. Ironic, isn't it? At NEW. 102.7 WNEW-FM, Allman Brothers Band with number 67, Blue Sky, and Ironic from Alanis Morissette, number 68. Isn't that ironic that Pat St. John isn't here and I've had to play the Allman Brothers 3 times in the last hour? Pat would be in his glory. He would be just boogieing through the studio here, but isn't it ironic? He's off today. 102.7 WNEW-FM, 65, headed for 85. Should be a real nice day, and tomorrow as well. Songs of all time as selected by you guys. We're on 66 now. Get your kicks on Route 66. Well, they recorded this song, but that's not the one that clocked in at 66. We're talking Stones. We're talking some sugar, brown variety.
See you, Jim. It's 102.7 NEW, the late great Jimi Hendrix out of the Seattle, Washington State area. Actually, not technically from Seattle, but up the road, I believe, in Tacoma, someplace like that. Hey, Joe, 61, Pearl Jam's Black, definitely from Seattle. Okay, 62, Black and Pink Floyd, Shine On, You Crazy Diamond, number 63 on the Firecracker of 500. Weird during that session for Shine On Your Crazy Diamond, which was about Syd Barrett, who just flipped out doing too much acid, stuff like that. He showed up, and he was in the hallways of Abbey Road where they were cutting that, and he had his eyebrows shaved, his head shaved. He was way grossly overweight, sweating, looking weird. And the members of Pink Floyd actually didn't recognize him for a long time. And then finally they realized it was Syd Barrett. Kind of a weird thing. Good morning, it's your friend Dan O'Neill. We're doing the Firecracker 500, the greatest 500 tunes of all time as voted by you. And you have excellent taste, I must add, as we get into the 60 creme de la creme, the most magnificent rock tunes of all time, in your opinion. And boy, there are some great ones coming up. Pyrotechnics of rock and roll next. Hey, the Further Festival is pulling into Liberty State Park, where we had our NEW Fest yesterday, and I got tickets for it. It features Rat Dog, Mickey Hart's Mystery Box, Bruce Hornsby, Los Lobos, Hot Tuna, and more this Thursday, July 11th, Liberty State Park, 212-757-1027, if you can tell me which former member of the Grateful Dead's in Rat Dog. Is that a hard one? Do I ask hard questions? No, I don't. I ask easy questions just so you can have these tickets from 102.7 WNEW-FM, the place where rock lives. And curiously enough, some sort of weird twist of fate has made the fact that the Grateful Dead, it comes in next on the Firecracker 500. God has taken his hand in this survey and put the wrong song on the CD player, and now we'll play the song that you voted, thank you very much, as number 60 on 102.7 NEW.
He brought my favorite table, he can't beat my best. His disciples needed him, and he just does the rest.
27 NEW, the Firecracker 500, number 56, checks in the Who and Pinball Wizard from the immortal Tommy Rockopera. Allman Brothers Band from Brothers and Sisters. Jessica at 57. Peter Gabriel, Looking in Your Eyes, number 58 from So. Zeppelin's Dazed and Confused, much like myself. That came in at number 59. Grateful Dead, Truckin', number 60. And Hendrix with Hey Joe at 61. Well, yeah, we're counting. Can you believe that? It's the Firecracker 500, the top 500 rock and roll tunes of all time as voted by you. And you did a magnificent job, I must add. My name is Dan O'Neill. I'm sitting in for Carol Miller today up until 3 o'clock. Hash Allen takes over at that point. And boy, we have a sparkler of a day. Sunny, going up to the mid-80s today. Get out and enjoy it. Tonight, clear, low in the mid-60s. Daytime Saturday, another good one. Partly sunny, lower 90s as it begins to heat up a little bit. 68 degrees, beautifully sunny skies. Maggie may or Maggie may not. It is next on the top 500 tunes of all time. Let's just go down to Wall Street right now. Here it is. There you go. I just think it's strange. Let's get back to music, shall we? There we go. Number 55 on the Firecracker 500 belongs to Rod Stewart. It's 1027 NEW. Maggie May. 1027 NEW as we count down the Firecracker 500. The Beatles coming in at number 52 with the title piece of Let It Be. That was a film that basically depicted the band breaking apart, disintegrating right before our very eyes. And even so, even though that band was falling apart, they put in a tune like Let It Be. They put in a tune like Get Back and Across the Universe and The Long and Winding Road. You know, not bad for a band, just can't stand each other's guts at that point. Grateful Dead with Uncle John's Band, number 53. As, by the way, the Further Festival coming in Thursday, Liberty State Park, and Bill Chiotis of Cliffside Park won himself a pair of free tickets to that by telling me that Bobby Weir's band is now Rat Dog. The Stones, number 54, and Give Me Shelter. Actually, it's not give me, it's gimme. Gimme that shelter. Gimme. I'm Dan O'Neill in for Carol Miller today. It's a gorgeous day, 72 degrees and sunny, and we do hope that you are enjoying your 4th of July long holiday weekend. If you don't have a long holiday weekend, well, hang with me. We're going to have ourselves a good time. And if you do have a long holiday weekend, well, hang with me. We're going to have a real good time, okay? As a matter of fact, we're going to go straight forward into the Mystic next, and then we're going to watch some ants march, okay? Does this sound like fun or what?
For current up.
Hey, I'm pretty excited to be here. Dan O'Neill and for Carol Miller playing the top 500 tunes. We call it the Firecracker 500. You voted on these. We tabulated them up. It took months of accounting firms just working diligently to come up with all the votes. We've come into number 51, and it belongs to Van the Man Morrison. We're going into the Mystic, and